Hello, it's Phil for Digital DJ Tips. Today we're looking at a very exciting new DJ controller. It's the Novation Twitch, which is a DJ controller designed for Serato Itch, and it is the first DJ controller really for the mainstream that doesn't have jog wheels. What does that mean? Well, it means it's very small and light to start with, because all that room that would have been taken up with jog wheels is now available to put other controls in. And it means that those other controls are front of house. There's lots of stuff here that really is good to have when you're a digital DJ, and it's all opened up and ready for you to use very easily. Let's have a little look at some of the functions. The full review is at digitaldjtips.com/twitch. Okay, this strip here is called the touch strip, and this replaces the old-fashioned jog wheel. So this will allow us to scratch through our track like this. When we're playing, it allows us to slow down and speed up. Also, it can be what's called a drop function. So using drop, it's like dropping a needle on a record. So you can see immediately that that has replaced pretty much all of what a jog wheel would do, which is quite exciting. Very easy to set your cue points with it, by just going to exactly where you want and hitting cue. So it's exactly the same as you would imagine the jog wheel would work. So there's our cue point, hit and ready to go. The decks are pretty much the same as you would see on a normal DJ controller. In this area here, you have the cue, play, pause, key lock and sync. You can do the beat grids. Beat grids are what you do before you get to a gig to make your tracks BPMs and beats all line up perfectly. You don't have to do it. Tractor users do it all the time. It's been in Serato Itch since 1.7, so you can do your beat grids from the unit, which is useful because this unit is based around loops. All these buttons here, which I'm going to show you in a minute, they're based around having a good solid beat grid. So you can do that there. The pitch isn't a fader, it's just a turny little knob, to use the technical term. It clicks, and when it clicks it moves 1/100th of BPM. You can press it down to move very quickly. So if we play the tune, you'll hear. And then obviously the fine control like that. So there's your pitch control. This area here is where all the fun happens. This area here has 4 different modes to control these buttons. Now everything that happens here isn't 100% innovative. There's stuff here which you can find on most DJ controllers apart from one function. But the fact that it's now down here and easy to use is the big thing. I've used this controller in a gig and I really found myself DJing in a different way because of some of these functions. So let's look at them. The first button is hot cues. So this is, as you would imagine, let's get the BPM somewhere normal. As you would imagine, this is just for setting hot cues. There's one, there's another one. Just as you would imagine a hot cue button would work. You can get rid of them by pressing shift and then hitting the button again. And these are saved with the tune, so next time you load the tune, the hot cues are there, ready for you to use. We're going to look at this function now, which is auto loop. That's looping increasingly, double every time, a part of the tune, all the way up to a full 8 bars. If you press the auto loop button again, the current loop can be stored on one of these buttons. So the loop I'm currently using is now stored on button 1, and I can start it again and go back to it. So that's auto loop. Loop roll is quite similar, but loop roll will let the track play underneath, so I can do some loopy stuff. But the tune is going on underneath. So that means that you can do some messing around and drop in right where you want to as soon as you take your hand off it. Something like that. That's your loop roll. There's another function on here which I'm simply not going to try and demonstrate, which is called slicer. Slicer will take a section of the tune and give you individual parts of it on these keys. So what it's doing here, if you can look at the screen here now, it's divided this section of the tune into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different parts. and I can play those parts on these buttons. Now that's obviously just a beat I've chosen there, so it's chopping it up in a very non-musical way. But you put something in there which is musical, it could be kind of a scatty vocal or a bongo pattern or something. You can obviously have a lot of fun with that. Now I'll be completely honest, I've used this for a whole gig and I didn't really use Slicer. It's quite an extreme effect and you need to practice on it. We've only had this here for a few days. But that is the one effect which could lift DJing with this up from all other DJ controllers, because it's only on this. Now I'd like to show you a different effect, which is on the faders here. These are not only volume faders. Volume is their normal job. However, watch this. I'll turn it into an effects controller. This button here will select an effect, and on the screen you will see when I press that button the effect will change. So now there's a phaser on there. I'm back on the unit itself here. Now I'm on a repeater. So this is your wet dry for the effect, and this button here allows you to change the main parameter, which is normally a timing thing. So I've got a long echo on there now and a short echo, and this button here put you back straight back to the volume control. The echo is just disappearing in the background there. This is innovative because what this gives you is one effects unit up here, which is normal. This is just a normal full-on itch effects controller with one effect on it. You can assign it to the left or the right or to the master or to the auxiliary input. There's one auxiliary input on this, by the way, which can have a microphone in it or a line input, and it mixes them both together. So really there's two. This effects unit can control any of those things, and it's the master effects unit. But there's also two others, one on each of the channels. So you get 3 effects units. Unusual for itch, there's normally just 2. So that, and again, is another innovative function. The other stuff is pretty standard. You have the full master outputs for booth, normal master for the main output, and then your headphones mixing controls here. And apart from that, it's all pretty standard stuff. But the big innovation is no jog wheels, everything's shrunk down. It's a really well made unit. It's got a metal top, it's very lightweight. You can throw this into a case, rucksack, jump on your bike and go to a house party, no problem at all. And I think it's going to stand out in the marketplace by being the small DJ controller that's quite serious. It doesn't look like a toy, it doesn't look like a shrunk version of a DJ's decks. It looks like a tool for doing the job. Now Novation believe that this unit will be for the kind of DJ who uses lots of loops, lots of electronic music. But I think actually this is going to appeal to DJs who just want something cool and compact to play music on. I play a lot of music that isn't dance music in the modern sense of the word, kind of old Latin and old rock and old disco dubs and stuff that really, you know, it's 4 minutes long, it fades out at the end. It's not the kind of stuff that you could normally do much creative DJing with. With something like this, that becomes possible because you can quickly locate the loops that you can then come back to, get going, and then move on to the other deck and do something creative with. So you can kind of do modern mixing with older music, which is what I found at my gig on Sunday. When I tested the thing out, I play across the board. I play reggae and rock, Latin and old disco, as I say, and slower beats and even some chill out and ambient stuff. This made it very, very easy to, on the fly, come up with new ways of mixing. And ultimately, that's what I found most exciting about it. So that's the Novation Twitch. It's on sale as of July, which is now 2011, and it's going to be $499 US, I believe £399 UK. You can see all the pricing and availability information on the main review, digitaldjtips.com/Twitch. Thanks for watching.